All right, thanks for tuning in to episode 4 from Straight from the Spear. I'm here with Brently, here to talk about his fitness journey. He's made some gains, made some losses, and had so much of a success that we had to get him on the show. So what's going on, Brently? Good?
Yes, thank you.
Man,
Thanks for having me.
You've been putting in a lot of work, and so much so, I think I done heard too many times in a row that you hit another number or milestone. So I said, you know what, that's it. We're going to get you on and be able to talk about it. But has working out and dieting and just watching what you eat, making sure you're active, has that always been something you've been involved in?
Definitely not. No, I would say I come from a pretty inactive family. I think all of us would have been considered obese by technical standards. So I was 160 in the 4th grade already, and just my highest weight was June 2024, and I was 257. And since I left high school all the way until now, I've been up and down 60 pounds, maybe 5 or 6 different times. And anytime I would lose weight, I just kept gaining it back, and felt like I just kept failing. But this time started in June 2024 at 257 pounds.
257.
Mm-hmm. I start today at 167, so 90 pounds later.
Pounds. Yeah, not too many people can say that.
And it feels good. My joints feel better, my body feels better, just everything feels better.
And when you started out, what was your workout routine? What did you do?
Yes, so in that June 2024, my doctor had wanted me to try some of the GLP-1s, which I found some success with, but it didn't quite, or it was helping take some pounds off, but it wasn't really making my body feel any better. I was honestly feeling kind of worse with them. And so when I was working out during that maybe whole first year, I was doing cardio, elliptical, things like that, but I'm hypermobile everywhere, so all of my joints extend too far. And so I just kept hurting myself anytime I would try to lift weights or things like that. And I've gone to multiple doctors and multiple physical therapists since I was 18, and none of them would listen to me, and none of them would, actually listen to when I was like, oh, this isn't the good type of hurt, this is the bad type of hurt. And they're like, no, that's just in your head. You just got to keep pushing past it. And I would just keep hurting myself over and over again. So this time when I was trying to lose weight, I kind of just avoided weightlifting and just did what I could. But then in September of last year, September 2025, is when I had hit up Mike here.
That's right.
And because I finally wanted to actually learn how to work out correctly, and I was specifically looking for someone who was going to listen to me and, listen when I said, oh, this is not the good type of pain, and try to work through different ways like that. And Mike said he could do that. And when we started, we finished my first workout, and I was astounded that I wasn't in any pain. And he listened to what I had to say, and he, took into consideration the strange body that I was given. And slowly I was able to find exercises to build things up, to actually start building muscle in a way that wasn't going to hurt myself. And really what Mike had let me know was, you have to, the heavy weightlifting can come later, but if your joints and the muscles around your joints aren't strong enough to handle that, then you're just going to keep hurting yourself. So we focused a lot on stability training at first, and that was a life changer. Honestly, I feel like I have a different life now than I did when I started in September, just because someone finally actually was listening to what I had to say. And I even just last week did my first real, actual, true push-up that was with good technique. A true one, and because my triceps and my elbows could never handle it. anytime I tried to do a push-up, I would alter it and try to do weird ones, and it never worked. But that was my latest exciting milestone. I've been doing a bunch of dips and the pull-ups with the assisted weight, and just that, I was like, oh, holy crap, like, I'm already feeling stronger here and able to do the things that everyone had been trying to get me to do the whole time, but was way too soon for me. And all of that, so.
Oh, and then see, I didn't think it was strange. It had like Fantastic Four vibes or something. And I consider myself a flexible guy, so I was kind of on the jealous side. Like, hey, man, I wish I could move like that. But to be able to push through, because I always celebrate, everybody else's wins, because we have highs and lows. Sometimes, I may be on and some other people may be off. So it's why you gotta definitely absorb the motivation from other people. And so, and I know it's real when you come in here, and if you're feeling good, that's hard to come by. So I definitely, like I said, so many times back to back, you come in and I was like, man, he's been doing it. He's been consistent. But then now I know you're hitting more milestones. I didn't even know about the push-up one. So that's great, because there's some people still started with modified push-ups and kind of still on modified push-ups. So, you're past that now.
Yes.
What would you say was your hardest obstacle when you were trying to lose weight and build muscle? Besides people not listening to you, was like the diet, or was just trying to figure out the exercise selection?
Really, it was absolutely the exercise selection. Just because the things that work for a normal body do not work for a hypermobile body at all. And so, like I said, I can't tell you how many times I've thrown out my shoulder blade just because I was trying to do something that I see a normal guy doing, and so learning how to do what I can do and doing that well now is letting me do the other stuff that these other guys are doing. So I was always jealous of the guys next to me that were doing this bench or doing this exercise that I just never thought I'd be able to do, because it wasn't in the cards for me, but they're happening now.
Yeah, and now that you're doing more stuff, what would you say are your top 3 machines or exercises you like to do now?
I love this assisted pull-ups machine. I still can't do an actual pull-up myself, but I slowly am bringing that weight up and up and up. So when I had started, it was like 110 was comfortable without hurting myself, assisted weight. When I was working out, 3 or 4 days ago, I put it on 60.
Okay.
And was doing it fine and felt great. And so it's just little increments, slowly but surely, because,
little wins.
If there's anything anybody knows about building muscle, it takes forever.
Yeah.
Forever. You just got to keep going, and the consistency is key.
That's right. So assisted pull-ups, what's the second one?
Squats.
Okay.
I could never do a real actual squat. So my hips are hypermobile. So anytime I would try to do an actual squat, I could go down and my knees would be fine, but my hips would then rotate incorrectly, and then I would hurt my hip and be out for a couple of days. And now I'm doing, 20 at a time. I'm doing the actual squat machine for the first time. And I was doing an old workout, a Pilates workout that I had done before that used to stabilize things pretty well. And I did it, and I was like, this is cake now.
Yeah.
There's squats in there, and I was like, oh, this is what, squats are actually supposed to feel like.
And number 3, what's the
Number
third?
3.
But we already got squats, lower body.
I will say one of the best things that Mike taught me is that you do not have to run to get a good cardio in. I hate running. I do not think every human being was meant to run.
No.
And so now every time I warm up, I do the elliptical on a high incline at a fast walking speed. I'm already sweaty just from that, and
Mission accomplished.
So now I'm like, oh, man, I don't have to run. That's fantastic.
And were you stretching before we started training?
I was not stretching like I was supposed to stretch, which, especially as hypermobile person, I really needed to be doing that. But now I get a good stretch routine in.
And so some people will be definitely curious as to what else you are doing besides the training. Like, what is your diet looking like?
Okay, so I would say the biggest part of my diet has to do with eating whole foods versus processed foods. Honestly, I really don't eat, I would say, like a super healthy person, I would say, in terms of like portions. Like, I wouldn't say I'm eating like tiny portion sizes to lose all this weight. I really just switched from a lot of canned and frozen things to, like go to the store and, the Instant Pot is easy enough to do. You just throw whole ingredients in and then you have a whole meal. You know what I mean? So whole foods specifically, I think, are the other thing that just completely changed my life around. It made me feel lighter. They made me feel, more energized and being packed with preservatives and all of that.
And then, beverages. Were you ever big on soda, sweet teas, stuff like that?
I am a sugar fanatic. I will say the biggest detriment of my life has been candy and sugary drinks because I'm just someone who loves sugar.
That's me.
And cutting those out was difficult at first, for sure.
It felt like a breakup, right?
Yes, honestly. But feeling or cutting out the sugar was really hard at first, but it gets easier, especially when you have the whole foods. Now, I'll still have the occasional candy, but especially if I eat a little too much, I'm the type of person who's now going to just stuff it all in and ruin my whole week. And so I really try to avoid it. But now I'm not drinking any soda or anything. I just stick with water.
Okay.
And maybe a candy bar a week.
Because I was going to ask you the next question of water consumption. How much?
So this is actually a really important one. When I had the last time I started losing weight before I gained it all back again, I got gallstones 5 times as I was losing weight, and my doctor thinks it was because I was dehydrating myself. And when you lose a bunch of fat, there's gunk in your fat that gets released, and if you don't flush it out, it can build up in your gallbladder and your kidneys. And so I was in the ER 3 of those 5 gallbladder attacks. I'm glad I still have my gallbladder, but so this time when I was losing weight, I really made sure to focus on hydration and haven't had any problems with my gallbladder this whole time. So focusing especially on water intake. Sometimes I would take one of those hydration tablets and throw it in, but
flushing your system out.
Flushing your system out, that's important.
There we go. Trying to eat as clean as possible, enough to where you stay sane. You can't be rice cakes all the time. Okay, then how often are you working out now? In a week's time?
I'm doing. I try for 4 days a week, but minimum 3 times a week. Even if it's a terrible week, I have to get in those 3, or if I don't, I'm afraid what snowball has happened in the past, and I'm keeping with my consistency this time. And this is the longest span of time so far in my life that I've been consistently doing what I need to be doing.
Permanent change right here. See, okay, and then are you the type of you like the free weights more than the machines? You do a mixture. I mean, I know we got a machine with the your squats was on the split machine back there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then pull-up machine here. So how often are you on free weights at all, or have you just found majority of success with the machine?
I would say, especially with how strange my body acts, sometimes the free weight doesn't, support the way you need to, or it'll slip in all the wrong direction. So I especially have been focusing on machine work to start with, but have slowly been introducing actual free weight, which I feel like I can do now because there's stability that I've never had before.
That's right. Okay. And now, when it comes to losing weight, we're always still concerned about the core. So how are you with any ab exercises? Have you continued on the mat on the ground, or are you primarily on this machine?
I'd say I'm still matting it up
There we go.
for the most part. I do need to get onto the machine to continue adding weight so I can build muscle, because right now, I mean, the ab workouts that I'm doing are kind of,
They've gotten bored.
they're maintaining
Okay.
the muscle, but they're not building the muscle anymore.
Gotcha.
So I know I need to pick them up.
We need to jump on another ab
Yes.
session just to mix it up. So, okay, and then now throughout your whole fitness journey that's still going on, but you made pretty much lost 100 pounds and counting. So, what has been your motivation though? I mean, I know you've been in the gym and noticed other people doing some things that you haven't been able to do. Now you're getting in that same category, but has it been any type of family, friends who you knew were in the fitness world that you wanted to follow?
Not really. I had gone to the doctor for a different reason before June 2024, before I was losing weight, and my blood pressure was 150 over 105. And at that point, my doctor was like, "You either need to take some steps, or you're gonna die
Yeah.
before before too soon." So I was like, "I'd rather lose weight than die, I guess."
Right, absolutely.
And now my blood pressure just a couple days ago at the doctor's office was 106 over 61.
Another win right there.
That's a big win.
Yeah, and so definitely you had to prioritize yourself just to make sure you can get where you're trying to go. Just, literally life was depending on it. And now, how long would you say it took for anyone to notice the drop in weight and that you just kind of started to slim up?
I would say,
Or more rephrase that, when did you notice?
So I noticed like the small victories, especially when I was first starting to lose weight. This time I wasn't really building muscle like I needed to. So I noticed a lot, like in my face slimming down, but kind of got that you lost weight too quickly, skinny face kind of look. But the
When you noticed it.
oh yes, but when I actually started noticing muscle growth, I would say was in December of this year. So we had started training in September, and I didn't really notice much muscle-wise. That definition in my arms, which I've never had before in my whole life. Definitely the veins. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like I see other guys working out, and like veins are popping out and they look strong. And never had I had veins pop out of my arms. My chest and shoulders were looking sturdier, and I think still are. And every time, like I would say every week now, I'm noticing just slight differences somewhere. Like I did a squat at home a couple of days ago, and I didn't have my shirt on. And when I was up like this and I went down, I was like, wait, where did all this come from? Like,
Yeah. And so, what would be the message to anyone else trying to start from scratch?
consistency has to be key. It takes so much longer than anybody wants it to. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But especially coming from somebody who has gained weight and lost weight, and gained weight and lost weight just countless times, actually sticking with it and switching your diet to whole foods. Whole foods can feel just as addicting as that sugar does.
That's right.
You just have to make that transition.
That's the good point. It's something that nobody else, not that many people know. They think it's a downgrade.
Mm-hmm.
But once your body gets used to it, there you go. So.
Mm-hmm. And if you're still craving something sweet, I mean, there's fruit. Fruit's great. Berries, great.
Exactly. Okay. And so, fitness goal. What are you trying to do?
So at 167 now, I am lucky that I don't have a ton of loose extra skin, but there's a little bit here and a little bit on the sides of the hips.
Yeah.
And so really my goal now is I don't want to lose any more weight. I want to continue to stay this weight, but build muscle underneath it to try to combat a little bit of that excess skin that I'm going. But especially when it comes to the excess skin, it is totally worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just an unfortunate circumstance that happens from losing weight, but it happens to every single person who loses any amount of large weight. We are all in the same boat. I wear a compression shirt everywhere, and you couldn't tell from me just walking around that I have any excess skin, So I feel more confident walking around town. I feel, less embarrassed about myself and my health than I ever have, ever.
Confidence and everything. Mm-hmm. So, well, I'm sure you're going to get there. I'm sure you're going to surprise yourself even more. And because of what you had going on, because of your milestones you've been hitting, I said, man, let me go ahead and try to elevate you some more because it's noticeable. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
And plus, I think you'll be an inspiration to everybody else who even sees you, watches this. You know what I mean? So appreciate you.
And if you need a trainer, whoever's watching, Mike was the first person I'm 32 and have seen multiple health doctors, like so many people, physical therapists, and no one would actually take what I had to say into consideration. Everyone who has tried to help me has hurt me, and Mike was the first person to actually listen to me and work with me to find the exercises that would let me get to those other exercises that people were trying to get me to do but hurting me. I appreciate it. It's life-changing. Seriously, I'm doing things I never thought my body would be able to do with the hypermobility. So
that's it.
We're doing it.
I'm excited.
Thank you.
That's it, man. Episode 4, we out.